Welcome back, everyone, to the Meridian Centre here in St. Catharines, Ontario, pre-game before the Peterborough Petes and the Niagara IceDogs. We're here with IceDogs GM Joey Burke right as the pre-game skate ends. So we're going to have a loud buzzer in about 10 seconds for everyone to enjoy. Joey, just first things first, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, no, as always, guys, it's always my pleasure, and a little bit different setup tonight, but there it is. As we know, timing's everything, but no, again, I'm very excited as always, so thank you.
So, we're early in the season. The team has had some ups and downs. How would you evaluate your team's performance and how they look on the ice early in the season?
Very, very satisfied with the guys. Really from the top to the bottom with our staff and our player personnel. I think we've done a fantastic job. While our record may not be quite what the expectation was coming out of the gate a little bit, at the same time, we've really been dealt a ton of blows injury-wise. Obviously 3 of our top defensemen being out really from the start of the year. We finally got Ham back now. We'll see Elijah Roberts tonight, which is exciting. Still Hunter, a couple weeks away. So it's been a bit tough to evaluate that way, certainly on the back end. But with that being said, I've been very happy with the guys, the way the young guys have picked up the slack. The way Jonesy and the leaders have dealt with everything, has been fun to watch. And again, I think it's only going to get better from here.
Now, you've got the Michigan road trip coming up this weekend, and that's always been traditionally a little bit challenging for this team. What is it about Flint and Saginaw that's such a challenging road trip for you guys?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's a little bit everything. Maybe we tend to have an affinity of American guys, so I know they're going to their hometowns quite a bit, with the Michigan players. Won't quite be as big of an issue for us this year with those sort of distractions. But again, just one of those things, 2 good programs out in Michigan. It's a long trip, a bit of a grind, heading out that way. And certainly, it'll be no different on that end this time around. I mean, Saginaw obviously built, for success this year, and Flint's going to be an extremely hungry team, come Sunday. So it'll be another tough one for us for sure.
So you talked about expectations for your team and how you set expectations high and how hard it's been with the D that have been hurt. So as a GM, what kind of challenges does that make in terms of evaluating where your team is and what you have to do, what pieces you have to add? Because you guys haven't been quiet about saying your expectations are high. So evaluating your team is a big part of that, and when you have so many injuries, that has to make it challenging to evaluate the team.
100% it is. I mean, I think the number one thing from my end is don't panic. We know we've got 3 extremely high-end defensemen coming back into the lineup. A couple of them coming back in already. So from our end, it's, we don't want to panic and force a move and bring in a guy that we don't feel is the right fit for us, just because we feel we have a couple injuries and we're swimming a little bit. We know the talent we have. We're extremely comfortable with the depth that we put together here. So really it's no panic. It's been a bit tough to evaluate for sure. Again, you'd like to see our back end look like what, we had envisioned coming into the season. We obviously haven't seen that for 1 game yet, which is unfortunate. So it's a bit tough to evaluate that way. But with that being said, we've got a very close look at our youth, and boy, I think the future is very bright. You look at a guy like Leighton Moore, I think he's led the team in ice, let alone the defenseman in ice a couple games this year, and has just shown poise beyond his years from a 16-year-old already. So a lot of positives to draw on for sure. And again, we know our season's going to continue to get better and better as we get these guys back in. And, again, we're not shy to say it, as you said, we're going for it this year. We want to win. We feel we have the group. We feel we have the depth, in place to do so. And, it's not the home run moves we're going to need to make. While, I anticipate some excitement trade-wise as the season goes on, I'm very confident in the depth we built, and a tweak here or there I think will set us up pretty well.
You just talked about your depth, and you've got some real depth in goal right now with Christian Sabraglia coming into the fold too. How do you manage him, this year? He didn't play a lot last year. He hasn't played a lot this year. Do you give him the full Stevie Dillon treatment that he got when he was in his 16-year-old year and hope that he develops? Because that worked out pretty well for you overall, didn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely it did. I mean, with Steven coming in as a 16-year-old and being able to learn from guys like Nedeljkovic and these kind of high-end guys was extremely beneficial. And with Dylan and Colton here, Christian has the exact same opportunity, while at the same time, he's a very, very highly touted prospect, and we're very cognizant of the fact that we need to get this kid some games and see what he can do, because again, I'm extremely confident that he's the goaltender of this team's future, and I know we've got a very good one there for sure.
So just a moment ago, you were talking about you expect to see some big excitement at some point, or fans maybe be able to expect that. Some fans are saying do it now. Other fans are just wondering what's going on, because we're not seeing many trades across the league at all. So how would you kind of define the trade market right now?
Yeah, well, you know what? I would agree with those fans. I'd like to do it now as well. And that's why, again, when you're able to add a guy of, Ivan Lodney's caliber in the offseason, it becomes a huge coup to get him in early and, get going with the guys right from the get-go. So, it's unfortunate. While at the same time, it's no different. Every year in this league, October is a very slow month. All the high-end guys that you really set your sights on, the teams aren't moving them at this point. While, yes, they'll say they may move these players at some point, they're just not quite prepared to do it yet, which I understand. We've been in that situation in the past. So, again, I really think patience, is the virtue on that end. That you really have to just make sure you're not panicking. We're fine. We like our depth. And again, these guys that we've been targeting will become available. We just need to be patient for that. And again, you'll see a number of names of maybe more mid-level players that are out there and available for right now. But we've got mid-level guys. We've got high-end guys. We're not looking for the Band-Aids or the guys that, maybe solves other teams' problems to get them out or whatever it might be. We're looking for the impacting guys who can come in and cause some damage for us and really be exciting to watch.
One of your draft picks, Holiday, taken in the 3rd round this year, just showed up this week in the Hockey News' Prospects Unlimited at number 60. What kind of an opportunity would he have here next year if he chose to come to the OHL?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope Stephen and the Holiday family are watching tonight, because boy, they'd get every opportunity in the world. An extremely talented, offensive, but just smart hockey player. This is a guy who would have been an absolute first-round lock had he been committed to the OHL from day one. Obviously, he's got some other options we're going to have to work through. But again, I really feel with our recruiting and this building, in this region and our team and our staff, we've created a program here that players want to be a part of. And I'm sure Stephen will be no different. And again, I continue to say I'm very confident we're going to see him in an IceDogs uniform next year.
So we've talked a little bit about how the injuries to your defense have hurt you, but could you almost say that it's almost helped to a bit too? You guys are looking to be a team that doesn't necessarily go all the way to the bottom anymore. You want to kind of stay and grow and then kind of go down to mid-pack, then go to the top. You've gotten the opportunity to see Mason Howard play hockey. You've had the opportunity for Leighton Moore to get more ice time than he probably would have got if everyone was healthy. Is it kind of like a weird blessing in disguise this early in the year?
You know what, it really is, and at the same time, I had a good talk with Steve Staios with Hamilton, and obviously they went on a phenomenal run last year and won the league championship. And Steve told me, it was no different. They first faced quite a bit of adversity, to get their season going, had some injuries, lost some tough games, so very much looked seminars. And he told me, it was the most beneficial thing for him. And certainly, myself and the coaching staff, we talk all the time on how, it's better to face these issues early. And, as we all know, when it rains, it pours. And it's certainly been pouring on us here a little bit, but we'd rather face the adversity as early as we can and get healthy as the year goes on and get ready for a nice stretch run here.
Yeah, looking at Hamilton, you wonder what Arthur Kaliev would have been if he didn't get the ice he got, right?
Absolutely.
Joey, thanks a lot for being with us. We got to go to break, but thanks a lot for being with us.
Anytime, my pleasure.